Today I'm going over my top 10 legends that I want to see in MLB The Show 22. In the comment section below, let me know the legends that you want to see most. Maybe let me know your top 10 or just one or a few, but I want to see the legends that you personally want in MLB The Show 22, Diamond Dynasty, and just in the game in general, because I guess they would be in franchise if you wanted them just in the game. But let me know your top legends you want to see in MLB 22 in the comments. Going for 200 or more likes on the video. Subscribe if you're not already, on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So let's go to the first slide. And before we start, legends are any retired players who get a card in the game. So say that Joe Schmo retires and then MLB gets his rights and adds him into the game. He's technically a legend, even if he maybe wasn't the best player. It does cost money to get a player's rights and add them to the game. They can't just be like, okay, yeah, we want Derek Jeter, bam, he's in the game. They can't just make him a card, make him a player model. They need his rights, and that does cost money. They can juice up cards and have juiced up cards, and they will keep juicing up cards. We've seen them make players who are not nearly at a certain level for certain attributes be above that level. So I'm not surprised if they juiced players. They continue to do it. They keep doing it. They've done it, and they will keep doing it. And then this is sort of in order, but after my top three, it's not really. Like, I feel like my top one, my top two, my top three are in order. But after that, it's just players that I want to see and kind of the ones that popped into my head first. And I feel like I should also say that just because someone is not on this list does not mean I don't want him in the game. These are just the 10 main ones that stood out to me. And I'm definitely probably forgetting some. That's why I can't wait for your comments. But let's go ahead, go to number one. And that is going to be Derek Jeter. Now, what you're seeing on the screen, okay, let me turn off the cam. What you're seeing on the screen in terms of the gameplay picture is the Derek Jeter that I made in MLB The Show 21. I think I found a video on YouTube from like MLB 17 or 18 and just used that video, and it still works pretty much the same. I feel like that does look quite a bit. Obviously, it's not perfect, but I feel like it looks pretty good for Derek Jeter. And then he's the only one that I added like a diamond attribute onto for this video, but everyone I tried to find a card that I feel like would look cool in the game, but just kind of as a placeholder so we can kind of get a feel for who we're talking about and just something to have on screen. But Derek Jeter, number one choice for me. I have never seen anyone requested more than him by the community. I feel like every time I'm seeing someone ask, what legend do you want to see most, Derek Jeter's always that number one answer. So I feel like I had to go Derek Jeter. I would like him in the game. He's not my personal number one on who I would like to see just on the guys that I like. But in terms of content, I feel like Derek Jeter would be the most fun, because he would be the guy that people wanted to see most. If I got Derek Jeter on my ranked seasons team, I know that people would love watching him on the team. So that's a big thing. And then my second point that I have here, and I just have points for every player for stuff that I didn't want to forget about, is that they would juice his card. He would have minimum 100 contact versus both sides, minimum 100 power versus both sides, along with diamond fielding. They're not going to make Derek Jeter some like 93, 94 overall Gold Glove Award series that sucks at hitting or something. I don't know, man. They're not going to make him a bad card. He's going to be a good card. They're going to juice him up. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, Derek Jeter wasn't as good as people thought he was. I don't think it matters. I think they would juice him regardless of his actual numbers. I feel like he's going to be a juiced up card, an insane card when he finally gets added to the game. And I'm personally hoping that that's MLB 22. I think we're going to go a little bit faster for the rest of these because I know we've been spending a lot of time. But my personal number one hitter that I think I want to see just in terms of players and how their card might look, swing, stuff like that, is Barry Bonds. And some points that I have: he's already been juiced. He's one of the best, if not the best hitters to ever play the game. I feel like his swing would be amazing, and you could also juice up his fielding. He had good years where he had speed, base running, fielding, arm. Like, I feel like with the career that he had, he would have one of the best cards ever in Diamond Dynasty history. So I feel like it'd be really good in the field, but also obviously at the plate, 125 versus for everything. Literally, I feel like maxed out everything for hitting, man. He would be so good. Number three is my number one pitcher, Randy Johnson. I feel like he is probably my personal favorite pitcher ever. I know he wasn't on the Cardinals. I feel like a lot of people go with somebody on their team, but I don't know, man. Growing up playing MVP baseball, seeing Randy Johnson, watching highlights, just stuff like that, he for some reason became my favorite pitcher of all time. He hit a bird. He has a funky motion. I feel like he'd be hard to hit. It's kind of like with Chris Sale. People struggle against that big lefty with the long arms, a weird motion. I feel like Randy Johnson is pretty similar. He throws gas. They would give him 125 hits per 9. They'd probably give him a sinker, cutter, outlier on the pitches. I feel like just Randy Johnson would be such a good card in game. He'd be fun to use, and I feel like he's well liked by a lot of people in the community and would be a very welcomed legend. I think a lot of people would be happy to see him. Next up, Alex Rodriguez. Now, for me, a big part of the reason I really want to see him back is because of MLB The Show 16. He had so many cards that you guys are seeing on screen. These were all, I believe, 99 overall cards in MLB The Show 16. He had a Mariners version, a Rangers version, a Yankees version, all 99 overall. So I feel like you could give him so many different cards. You could bring these cards back, these MLB 16 Classic cards. You could put them in the game as well as Milestone, Award Series, Signature Series, whatever you wanted to do. You could have so many different Alex Rodriguez cards in the game and also bring back other ones. And then obviously, he's a juicer, which just would make him even better, you know? Then we got Carlos Beltran, number 5 spot, switcheroo. You know me, I love my switch hitting cards. I believe what you're seeing behind me is a Mighty Go thumbnail from MLB The Show 16, and same thing with A-Rod, right? You would have the classic MLB The Show 16 cards that you could bring back. Just so many cards in general. He's been on a lot of different teams and had a lot of success with different teams, which would result in, I feel like, him having the possibility to get a lot of good cards, especially if they did it kind of like MLB 16 style with A-Rod and having maybe one for each team, stuff like that, man. I feel like it could be really good. I personally miss having Carlos Beltran in the game. I really want to see him back. Number 6. Is this my first Cardinal? I'm a little bit surprised. I could go on and on with Cardinals, right? We got Mark McGwire, Chris Carpenter, bring him back. Give me Albert Pujols earlier in the year, but I guess we got Jason Isringhausen, but we never got a good version of him. But there's so many players you could use from every different team, but I feel like my number 1 from the Cardinals that I want to see in terms of position players would be Big Mac, Mark McGwire. Already juiced up. He's one of my favorite Cardinals, and I just think it would be a lot of fun to have him back in the game. A lot of power, probably a pretty good swing, and I want to see all those guys, man, from that era back in the game. We already talked about Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire. Next on our list, Jose Fernandez. I actually forgot I threw him in here. Now, my notes that I have for him, obviously, rest in peace, tragic accident and everything like that. I don't really want to get into that in this video at all or in the comments, but he's just someone where I feel like I would like to see him back in the game personally. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he never got added back into the game and everything. But at least back in the day, he was really well liked from the community. I feel like I still see a lot of people talking about him and wanting them to bring back cards for Jose Fernandez. I feel like a good idea would be, as you see behind me, is from MLB The Show. I want to say, oh man, was this 17? Was this 16 or 17 with this card? I feel like this was 16, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this was MLB 16, I'm almost positive. And I feel like it would be awesome to bring back his live series, what you see here with the same card art, background, everything. Bring it back if you bring him as a legend, as a classic card, and maybe have this be like a 99 overall for him, man. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. He was sort of a two-way player. He did have some good ABs. I think he hit a few home runs and everything, so you could give him some contact, some power, and I feel like he'd be a pretty fun card to use. Next up is Ryan Howard. Let me know in the comment section if you recognize this thumbnail, man. I feel like only OGs will recognize this, but this was a good time, I feel like, in the community and on YouTube and everything like that. Ryan Howard, what more can you say besides that swing, shelfie, and then just overall, I think he'd have a lot of fun cards that we could use. Number 9 is where I thought we were going for Mark McGwire. I forgot I had him down here, but big juicer, quick swing, a lot of power for Sammy Sosa. I feel like he'd be a fun card to use. And like I was saying earlier, I really want to see like that era of players, a lot more legends brought back. And I'm not necessarily saying anyone in specific, like not like, you know, only people who use steroids, but I feel like a lot of people did in that time. But Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, from that era, I feel like also you could say Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Scott Rowland should come back. I just feel like there's so many cards from that time and that era of baseball that could be a lot of fun to use, and I want to see them bring back more legends, specifically Sammy Sosa. And then finally on my list, number 10, and we got Lance Berkman, switch hitter, 45 home runs in 2006, so you could have a lot of power from a switch hitter. And then same thing with guys like A-Rod. and Carlos Beltran. You could have a lot of different cards. Astros, Yankees, Cardinals, Rangers, and I feel like they could all be good in their own way. Use milestone cards, signature series, specific moments, second half, postseason, whatever. I feel like he's a dude that could get a lot of fun cards, and personally, he's someone who I would like to see a lot. Now, I would imagine that my top 10 that I have right here is probably a lot different from most other people's. Again, for me, my top 3 is really the 3 guys that I want to see most, and then everybody else is really not in a specific order. It's just guys that I want to see. So I'm very curious about y'all. Who's your top 10? Who's your number 1? Who's your top 3? Stuff like that. Let me know the legends that you want to see most. Like, comment, subscribe, social medias, all that good stuff. I know I talked a lot in this video, but I just didn't want to try to drag it out that much. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I had, say what I had to say, and I think we did a decent job at that, but I feel like we also talked kind of fast. But I hope you did enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe, social medias, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you next time. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.